Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hotel News Now podcast. I'm news editor Sean McCracken, here with Concord Hospitality's Mark Laport and Will Loughran. Mark and Will, how you doing today?
Fantastic. Doing really well. Good to see you, Sean.
So the impetus for us having this discussion today is obviously you guys are coming up on a big anniversary, 40 years for Concord. Mark, obviously this company's your baby. There for the 40 years. What's that experience like? What does it hitting that milestone mean to you?
One thing I realize, it's no longer a baby at 4 decades, but it's always, I guess I've always treated it like my baby per your way of characterizing a company that anybody gets to help grow. It's really a big deal. Having seen what was in the early days very much a struggle of trying just to get from one hotel to the next hotel, and even see a little bit of growth was difficult, since we were, as many companies, undercapitalized, just had a lot of good ideas, wanted to work really hard and be the right kind of people to our customers and to those who invested with us, and those franchisors that we got interested enough to put their names on our buildings. But it was very much an incremental growth strategy. Good news is our early years were successful in a small way. We just simply built upon that. So as I like to say, ours is a success of incrementality, one step at a time. No big portfolio acquisitions, but very much masters of what we like to call the one-off.
Mm-hmm. So, 40 years ago, did you have any inkling of where you'd be at now, or is this this kind of the culmination of all that?
I only knew for sure that I, along with people that I work with, wanted to grow, wanted to be successful, wanted to compete, and wanted to see where that would lead us. But for sure, never thought there was an end game. We wanted to go from one to currently almost 150 hotels and still growing. So the quantity of hotels was never front of mind, but to grow and grow smartly and thoughtfully and do that sustainably was always a strategy.
Yeah, and just for context for listeners, how big is the Concord portfolio now?
We're just under 150 operating hotels. We also have many hotels in development. We're one of the country's largest developers of ground-up hotels.
Yeah.
So I believe we have another 20-some hotels in our pipeline. In fact, about $1 billion in our pipeline, as well as being
not the easiest thing to do right now, right?
It's never been easy, but
yeah,
it's always been fun. As well as being an acquirer of third-party management contracts, and given the times we're in, on the lookout for acquisitions that we can add value to.
Mm-hmm. So, well, by comparison, you're the new kid on the block here. Just for our readers' sake, can you give a context of when you jumped over to Concord, and what's that transition been like for you?
Right. So I am definitely the newbie on the team. I started with the company about 7 months ago. And for me, it was a physical move, moving from the West Coast to the East Coast. And so with the family in tow, we've started learning a whole new geography, a whole new climate, and it's been fantastic. And joining, prior to that, I'd spent the last 10 years at Evolution Hospitality, and am thrilled to be here with the Concord team. Our group is so seasoned and experienced, and it's a real privilege for me to be here as part of this team now.
Mm-hmm. So together, guys, what's your broad expectation going into 2025? I mean, both for you guys and the company, but the industry in general too. Like, how do you feel like this 40th year for you is going to go?
Honestly, candidly, we expect 25 to be maybe not the greatest year of all time, but a solid year. We expected to see low growth, but growth. We expect to see opportunities in the marketplace due to just the changing environment, interest rates now receding. That offers opportunities both to sellers and, of course, to us, which is net a buyer.
Yeah.
And to our I would say those people that invest with us, and we have many that have invested with us for over 40 years, they look forward to us bringing new opportunities to them. And from a franchisor standpoint, they're knocking on our door often saying, how do we continue to grow together? Look for new ways to grow, and keep the excitement going with Concord and being partners in this ever-changing business.
That's right. I think we're in kind of a nice little window on the, it's going to be a small window on the supply side. But, the development over the last few years has definitely slowed and not been as robust as it's been in the past. So we have a nice little window from a supply side. We're seeing nominal, RevPAR growths and forecast the future, but we do see a hotel stabilizing. We do see group business coming back, BT business coming back, and that's all very favorable. So we're optimistic about next year, but we're going to have to be on our game.
Yeah. So, Mark, obviously you mentioned interest rate environment's getting a little bit more friendly. We could probably expect some movement in the right direction with that into 2025. Do you expect that will really open up the deals market that's been pretty gummed up the last couple of years?
Yeah, I really do. And we're already seeing early signs of it. I don't know if it happens in the second or third quarter, but it's definitely, again, directionally heading the right way. We see a lot of owners that would have liked to have been sellers in the last couple of years, but due to the rate environment and just the overall operating environment, they didn't see an opportunity to get out at a number they could live with. Some of them have said, hey, enough. I think it's time to get out. And we know already, always working with some of the best brokers in the nation, that is occurring. We're bidding on a couple larger portfolios, something we didn't do a few years ago. Currently, we're trying to buy hotels that we would not have been successful doing 2 years ago, just because of that, the difficulty in the marketplace. But for sure, I think those who prognosticate would say sales could be up 20, 30, even 40% over last year, which was a bad year. So big growth off small numbers, but nevertheless, being opportunist, we think we'll be able to take advantage of it.
And Mark, I like when we kind of talk a little bit about replacement value versus new build. And we think there's an awful lot of opportunity in existing assets out there. And we think that will pick up as well, or rather support that added growth.
Along those lines, with that in mind, that same logic is why construction lenders don't want to lend, right? Which keeps supply down and keeps development down. Do you expect that dynamic to change at all, or is it still going to be pretty difficult to build hotels next year?
It's going to be more challenging than, say, 3 years ago. An interest rate was totally a different dynamic. But those companies like ours that have years and years of successful experience as being a developer and successfully developing, and importantly, paying our bills and paying lenders, can still source money to develop hotels. And we've seen even in the last 90 days, lenders that were totally out of the market are coming back to us and say, hey, we're back in business first quarter of 25. We'd like to be able to see your deals.
Mm-hmm. So what's the secret to making those deals pencil at this point?
Look at more than just one and say, this is the one. We have to have pretty, I would call it, fine filters, being disciplined about what deals can work in what marketplace, and what is the cost of construction, cost of land, as well as the cost of debt, of course. And against that, what comes out the other end? Are you in a market that rate growth is apparent and that can justify a development cost that could be as much as 30 or 40% greater than it was 3 years ago to build the same brand that you did just 36 months back?
Yeah. On the third-party operations side, I'm curious. Obviously, it's a friendly industry. There's a lot of people in this business who are friends, even though they're competitors. But it's been pretty cutthroat on that side of the business just to get deals done. Do you guys see that opening up with a better deals environment?
Well, certainly the opportunity is there. There, as you know, there's an awful lot of movement going on in third-party management
Yeah.
companies. There's
Yeah.
consolidation, there's mergers, there's acquisitions, and some of those will be great, and some of them will be challenging, and that those present opportunities
Yeah.
for new management opportunities out there. So we've already seen some of that kind of migrating our way. I think for us, our tenure, our experience, across the country is really accretive to that process. And we're not running out there and going after these big deals. We're trying to, I like the term, one off, work with a partner that we can grow with. In 2024, we added about 19 hotels total. 7 of those were hotels that we opened and developed. The rest were acquisition. What we're extremely proud of is that a lot of those acquisitions were with existing partners.
Yeah.
And so growing with existing partners that are ready to grow is really key for us and something we want to keep doing. And we definitely think there's opportunity out there for people to come over and move into our operation.
Yeah. And it seems like you were mentioning, the M&A activity in the operating space has been so big. I mean, it's been years now where that happens, but it seems like it's like ebbs and flows with that. And we just hit another kind of peak just a couple months ago. I mean, do you guys expect to see more of that in 25?
A lot more. And we think, particularly in the second half of 2025, we'll see not only deal flow of individual hotels or portfolios or real estate transactions, but we also think we'll see a lot more consolidation of the third-party management companies.
Yeah. So I'm curious, obviously a company's got to be pretty successful to make it to a milestone like 40 years. Um, what's the kind of secret to putting together a company like Concord and getting to the point you guys are at?
I would say it's all things culture,
Yeah.
to be really focused on building a team that really is well aligned and it's focused on its strategy and how to treat each other and how to be successful, how to have loads of integrity and keep our of mind that we have to be profitable. And what we'd like to do, and we are focused as a mandate, is do things that only resonate from a quality perspective. So as Will said, we just won't operate something that says hotel. We want to make sure we're aligned with the owners who think too that we want to be quality leaders in this space, and that doesn't mean luxury as much as just in any tier that we want to be best, or if not, strive to be outstanding in any segment we attack, and that's important too because we see this ever-changing business, as I like to call it, growing in different ways, and we're not fearful of growing in different aspects of how one can drive top line growth, whether you're building 4-star hotels or operating them, or as we are being a leader and developing some of the first mid-scale extended stay hotels like Marriott and Hilton's offering, by example.
And I would add, to that, Mark is so right on. The culture in the company is phenomenal, and that is really about how we treat each other. It's how we work with our clients, and is critical. We also have very disciplined experience focusing on the critical things that keep us moving forward. Group booking pace, RevPAR, customer service, working with the brands and our relationships with the brands. It's all incredibly disciplined. We take that piece very seriously, and we have great team members that are able to execute against that.
I will say, as somebody who's out in this industry, covers this industry a lot, it does seem like Concord has an outsized number of people, leaders within the company that are kind of well established as thought leaders in their area of expertise. I think I do a lot of stuff with HSMAI, and I think of like Karen McWilliams, who's one of my favorite people to talk to in the industry because I know whenever I ask her a question, she'll give me a very intelligent answer.
That's right. Yeah, she's remarkable and a great leader for us for sure, but a great representative of us culturally and with that discipline. I mean, she is, someone that delivers a backbone to that revenue strategy piece. And that's a great example. I appreciate you recognizing Karen.
So to switch tracks a little bit, I'm curious, do you guys see geographically any bigger opportunities anywhere where you operate?
Yes, and for sure. We're a company that just a few years ago was almost entirely east of the Mississippi.
Mhm.
For the past, the better part of a decade, we spread further west, Texas, Phoenix, and even now in California. So we're underrepresented as a player, I'll call it, on the West Coast. We see that as fertile ground, and we are attacking or pursuing opportunities as we speak. But there is still plenty of green pastures in the states that we have operated in for many years. We're in 20, I believe the number is 26 states and 2 provinces in Canada, and
Mhm.
always looking for opportunities that would expand upon that.
Yeah, which is somewhat counter to the kind of the trends you see across the industry because everybody else wants to get into the southeast where you guys are already at, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of excitement and call it a herd mentality to go where the press says is the best, whether that's the Sunbelt cities or states in the Great Southwest, because they have led the growth patterns in the last few years. But there's always niche opportunities in great cities of the Midwest and
Yeah.
Northeast, and we're not afraid of going into those locations since we've known them for years anyway, and
Hmm.
seek an opportunity that perhaps there's not a big crowd
Hmm.
for the same opportunity. But for sure, the Southeast and Southwest are huge in terms of just what's happening in this nation, let alone lodging.
Yeah, absolutely. So, given this is a big anniversary that we're talking about, I'm curious if you guys could put on your kind of get out your crystal balls. What do you think we'll be talking about for the 50th anniversary?
Ooh. Love it.
I think we both can answer that, maybe different ways, maybe the same. I think that, and you cited Karen McWilliams, one of our thought leaders. We have thought leaders in various disciplines of what it takes to be a successful hotelier, uh, and always looking through those lenses and trying to be ahead of what's happening next, be it the growth of boutique hotels, the growth of extended stay, mid-tiered hotels, wherever it takes us. We've been in the past one of the leaders in growing new segments or new brands, and that's been a hallmark of our success. I see us continuing to do that, often with the help and leadership of great brands or great global branding companies, but often just on our own. We don't fear doing independent hotels. I think with our ability to market in ways we could not have done years back, we might find independent hotels, and especially in great cities like New York and others, that there could be more independence in our future too.
Hmm.
We are all things hotel, and we're not afraid to be on the attack.
There you go.
I would add, I think that's really well said. I would add that our goal really is to be the best management company. Our
Hmm.
goal is not necessarily to be the biggest, to grow simply for growth's sake. So we want to be the best. So I'd like to see, 10 years from now, we're continuing to celebrate the success that we have by building with existing owners, growing successful brands, continue in our philanthropic efforts. Our organization is very culture forward when it comes to partnering in the community and local communities and other initiatives that we're in, like Clean the World. We're very involved, and we're going to continue to improve in those spaces, all of which is very culture forward and important to our associates and team members.
And I would only add to that because it's so important and it's just ingrained in our culture so much we don't say it often enough, but it's been a goal of ours for years and will continue to be 10 years from now, looking out as far as your question goes, to be the employer of choice.
Yeah.
We know if we are the best at treating people the right way, they will seek us. We don't use headhunters as proof of that. We are actively, we recruit internally and externally, and largely because we've grown reputationally in a very positive way.
Yeah. And it seems like that piece of the business is only going to get more important. I mean, just recently I did a pair of these podcasts with a couple former hotel management executives who had their companies bought, and they said that the quality of their people was as big of a reason for M&A right now as literally anything else. So, I mean, that is the heart of the business, right?
There is.
Very much so at every level of the organization. Talent, quality of talent, experience, labor are all going to be, that's our frontier for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's as good of a note to end on as anything. Do you guys have any final words of wisdom?
No, happy to have joined you, and I always love to brag on what we love to do daily in driving our business. So thank you for that opportunity.
Hi, I'm STR's Isaac Colazo.
And I'm co-star's Jan Freitag. And together we are the data geeks behind Tell Me More, a hospitality data podcast on the Hotel News Now podcast network.
Every month, we bring you a fresh take on the latest hotel data, insights into the travel trends behind that performance, and the big picture topics you should be thinking about.
And we also don't mind getting into some good-natured disagreement from time to time. Hey, when Isaac and I start talking data together, anything can happen. And it usually does.
Find us on hotelnewsnow.com and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen. Search for Hotel News Now, and thank you for listening.
This episode of the Hotel News Now podcast was recorded on December 13th, 2024, and edited by me, Sean McCracken. Visit hotelnewsnow.com for the latest news, and if you've enjoyed this or any of our podcasts, make sure to rate and review on your podcast platform of choice. Thanks for listening.